Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. I hope you can hear me. If someone could let me know if you could hear me, that would be most appreciated. Please do remember to hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. We put videos out most days, loud and clear. Thank you. So, who do we have this evening, I wonder? We have Willow and Shakti and Lana and Patrick, Dominique. Good evening. It's a good start. So, how are we all this Sunday? If you saw this morning's video, you will know I have to relook at my prep stuff because I'm just running about way too much. So, that's my new thing, is going to try and work out how to not be running about as much. We've got, hiya to Willow, Kelly, Belinda Jane, Carol, Sarah, Dave. Hello to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a good weekend. Stephanie Joy from Canada, nice to see you. Justine, thank you for joining us. Bob, good evening. If you saw my video on Friday night, you will know I was out, like proper out. We went out and had a birthday party. That was, there was quite a thing to go out, but it was lovely. Edgar, whose birthday it was, he had a fabulous time. We did silly things like surprised him with balloons and confetti cannon things in his house, not in the office, so we don't have to clear it up. But yeah, it was a really good night. And I think what made it even better was the fact that Edgar had such a lovely time. So that always makes it quite nice. Jackie, good evening. And Susan from Kent, hello. Sandra. Oh, Sandra down in Glasgow. Hello, sweetheart. And the other thing I've been doing this weekend is basically housekeeping. It's not my favourite thing to do, I have to say. But as I said this morning, I am batch cooking like a demon, doing loads and loads of washing as well. And then that just means I don't have to do it at night when I come home. Cluster Bungle, good evening. Dominique, young one, just popped round to use the washing machine. Oh, his is broken. That's not so good. Possibly, if it's just the belt for the spin and moving it round, you might manage to get that fixed rather than have to buy a new machine. Fingers crossed for that one for you, Dominique. Wanda, good evening, Mid-Atlantic. Sharon, hi there. But that is definitely something. I know that we've got a thing along Crieff called Remake, and they do mending cafes where they teach you how to fix things. And some of it is, all right, some of it's stupid, but then in saying that, I didn't know the stuff. Like, who knew there was a filter in the washing machine? I had no clue until I was moaning about my washing machine. My dad asked, when was the last time I emptied the filter? So then we had to deal with where's the filter in my washing machine, etc., etc. So yeah, that's a thing. It does indeed, Kelly. Well done. See, lots of people didn't know. Alexander, thank you for keeping me company. I appreciate the fact that you didn't know either. But yeah, there's a lot of places now are trying to do like repair cafes. Evening decluttering queen, how are you? And that is home improvement channels. Yeah, I think we all do that, Kelly. Evening, Alan. But yeah, a lot of it, as I say, with repair cafes, it helps you do your like try and repair stuff, like your washing machine, if it's just a belt or if it's just a lint thing that needs to be cleaned out. Lilith, good evening. Nice to see you. Avril, hello. Janie, good evening. What was the other thing? Oh, yes. When I moved things around in my kitchen, I stupidly put the fridge next to the tumble dryer. That is not a good plan. And obviously my fridge wasn't working. And who knew there was a tray at the back of your fridge that you can take stuff out of? I did not know this. It's a tray that you can remove. It's like a drip tray type thing. I did not know that existed. So that was another thing I learned. I was lucky, obviously, with Dad growing up, that he taught me about cars, how to change the oil, the water, stuff like that. So I'm not too bad with cars. But definitely, I think it's something to look at is repairing things, even like jeans and rips in clothes and putting buttons on and stuff. Fur babies, your fur comes off the clothes and can clog it. It absolutely can, Jackie. You ought to see my lint coming off the tumble dryer. Evening Green Moon, Carol, libraries, and yeah, sharing power tools and stuff. Yeah, that place in Crieff does that as well, Carol. It makes a huge difference. Evening HM. Oh, you knew about the lint thing and about the fridge tray. Lint is good tinder for lighting fires. Keep it in a tinder. Oh, I have mine in my burn bag. Evening, Kaneki. Evening, Mary. Yeah, the lint from a tumble dryer, if you've got anything like barbecues, like wood burners, etc., it is fabulous stuff. And I have what I call the burn bag. And it is any paperwork, envelopes, anything like that that needs to be done. I know someone had said, oh, please be sure to have a shredder. I don't have a shredder. I burn it all. I just scrunch it all up, throw in some lint, possibly some firelighters if it's been a bit mere, a bit moody. So I have what I call a burn bag. Sarah, an instruction manual nerd. Yeah, I'm not one of them, which is basically my father's fault. I used to rely on him for everything. Anything that was remotely mechanical, remotely like proper stuff had to be done. I asked my father. He was pretty good at that stuff. However, I have learned some stuff on my own, but I'm sure, as Patrick will agree, I am not allowed near electrics. When he first came in, when I got the new cooker, he moved it out to check it, and seemingly I was lucky I hadn't electrocuted myself. The light switch in Kathleen's room had broken, so I'd put a new one in. I was so proud of myself. I put a new light switch on. Upside down, granted, but it worked. So Patrick changed that round for me, thankfully. So yeah, kept filling up and overflowing was a design fault. Oh, that's not so good, Belinda. Natural fabric lint, not synthetic. Bob, I really don't care. It all burns. Especially clearing the space to move to them. HM, that was, Patrick and I did that last Sunday, and it took us 3 goes of, right, let's get upstairs and move stuff. And we humped the bags full of tins and packets through to my room, filled up the small shelves so that the big shelves were empty enough to carry through. And we were just exhausted by the end of it. So that only got started this weekend. So yes, thank you for that, HM. Caroline, good evening. Don't stand right there inhaling it and be fine. Yeah, no, shut the door. Everything lights and goes up the chimney. It's fine. Good evening, Paula. Thank you. A lot of people have said that they prefer my hair this way. I've had a few compliments about my hair going this way, so we might have to do that. Jackie, yeah, coal fire. Get in the back of the fire. Yep, everything went in the fire. Love making the paper logs from the courier. Yeah, the courier was great because it was a huge, it was like the size of a broadsheet. So if you had the courier, you were well sorted for lighting fires. As I say, I do have firelighters just in case, but I have the bag which is full of any lint that comes out the dryer, any paper, envelopes, anything like that. So, oh, thank you, Nick. That's very kind of you to say. Oh, I have a cat. Evening, pussycat. Yeah, cat, as in Raven, the pussycat, as opposed to Cat, the Kathleen, the daughter. Yeah, coal fire definitely is a thing. But I have to say, I actually had to have words with the boys when we were at the party and said, remember and bring me wood, because it's amazing how quickly a wood burning stove will go through the wood. Yeah, Janie, the courier is a lot smaller. It's now like tabloid size. Patrick, what no mouse? Right. So let me tell you a story about what happened last night. I went to bed early. I had been up late watching programs with Patrick, and then I was up late out partying on the Friday night. So last night I stayed here and I was like, I'm going to bed early. So off I jolly well trotted, went to bed. Cat was in, everything, as in Raven was in, everything was fine, but I had left the window open for her. About midnight, the cat jumped up in my bed, meowing at me, and I'm like, okay, she obviously wants to do the snuggly in thing. No, she was moving about. And after lots of jumping about, I put the light on, watched where she was going, lifted the corner of the wee blankie that's hers, and there was the mouse tail on the very alive mouse on my bed at midnight at night. So I got up and put on my dressing gown and bundled the blankie all round where the mousey was so that I didn't hurt the mousey, because obviously they're very small and delicate. So bundled the blankie, came very slowly down the stairs, and then opened the blankie up outside the back door while the cat was locked in my bedroom upstairs. So yes, we rescued a mouse last night. I'm feeling quite smug about that. Hopefully the weather will change soon and we will stop getting the mice. I think this is a bit of a, I think that's about the 5th mouse that I've rescued. Raven does not like it when I throw her in other rooms. A bit of a raver. Thanks for that, Alan. Just ridiculous. Yes, that was your fault. Does anyone know how funky it is? I don't know. The last thing I saw was that he'd put up a video. So come on, pussycat. Oh, don't give me your rubbish. See, pussycat. For anyone who hasn't met Raven, this is Raven, the mouse catcher, who brings them to me for presents. Right, you done? We sorted? Yes? You going? Look at that. That was more than like 5 seconds. That was quite good. Yeah, naughty Raven, exactly. Belinda Jane. 3 a.m. last night, Belinda Jane. I hope it was a very good night. I hope you had fun. Jackie, you can keep the rats down in Edinburgh, thank you. We do not have them. Mice alive and dead. 2 pigeons last week came through the cat flat. Oh dear, that's not so good, Lolly. Yes, no, I can't get Raven into trouble. She's so cute, and everyone knows that supposedly the cat bringing you a mouse is a present. So I can't be bad to her if she's bringing me presents. 6 days ago? I thought he put one up a couple of days ago. I see you, baby. Look. See, look in the camera. There you are. This is Raven. I do not know why Raven is on my lap, but she is. Nope, not for long. Typical. Yeah. So that is where we are. Now, the other things I saw today, what was my other thing? Oh, yeah. The ULEZ, low traffic neighbourhoods, all that sort of stuff, that is all going pear-shaped, to say the least. So that is going to be quite interesting. Ganeki, you inspired me to rearrange my stockpile, and now my whole apartment is upside down. Oh, that just is. It just happens. Once you move something from one place and you put it somewhere else, so you've got space to move things, and then you do the trying to make it all pretty and stuff, and then you move stuff from there to there. And what was it? Somebody in the comments the last time I said I was moving stuff is like, yeah, you've got put it in point A, B, C, D, and suddenly you end up with like point M, and your house is upside down and inside out completely. But yeah, today what I did, because the shelves are at the bottom of my bed, so what I did was every time I walked past, I just moved a few jars or tins or something. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. She thinks she's feeding me. Do I look like I need fed? Seriously? Like grandson also after an epileptic. Oh, bless Caroline. I hope he gets home soon. Oh, he is back home, staying with you instead of supportive. Look, quite right. Sometimes that just needs to be done. Digby. Now, there's a thing. Do you think maybe the cat has noticed I'm stockpiling and she wants to be doing that? Lana, yeah, I've heard that there's a few people backing out of the 15 minutes in the low traffic neighbourhoods. Caroline, spending very little. Nice. Kelly, don't care about pretty, just like to have some sort of order. Only, even if it only makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm very much like that. I know where everything is. Patrick and Kathleen both have to ask me where anything is, and I'm like, yep, that's in that cupboard above that, or it's in the cupboard below that, or it's over at the other side of the kitchen. So yeah, that is a good thing. Glennis, good evening. Thank you. Raven is the cutest. Catherine, good evening. Dave, do not comply with any of their stuff. What we commonly would say in school is bullpookie. Hello, substantial resting all day. Yep, I've noticed what I do because of the oh yeah, Patrick's tools. I have a tool bag of Patrick's here, and only he knows what's in it because I'm just not even going. Thank you for that, Catherine. Much appreciated. Yeah, I have to say, what I found I'm doing at the weekends is I run around like a mad thing in the mornings, and then I have self-imposed rest in the afternoon. But I'm very big in using like cash, not using self-service. Don't like the self-scanning. Apart from the Asda rewards, I'm using that if I'm in Asda's. So I do that, but I try not to self-scan. I try not to use my card if I don't have to. Anything I can do to try and keep people in jobs, because there's a thing coming out. What was it? I think it was in one of the comments this week, and somebody had said about the AI and the chatbots and everything, and I can see that with working with insurers. There's a lot of computerization going, that we're not speaking to people, they just send messages, and it's the computer that sends a lot of the messages. And then when we try and buy things, there's a lot of the stores doing the same. If you try and order something but they don't have it, then trying to phone someone is a real problem. And there's a few places we phoned where they're just like, we don't take phone calls. And if we can, we will then not use them, because we're trying to build a relationship with suppliers. We're trying to build a relationship with the people we work with. So if someone's not prepared to pick up the phone for us when we're going to be spending quite a bit of money, then why would we give them our money? I'd rather have someone where I can make a relationship. So yeah, I'm very, very much that thing. Lolly, the ULEZ is ridiculous. I mean, I know when Patrick lived in London, it was a congestion charge, and then it was a ULEZ, and then there was a big queue on the Hammersmith flyover trying to get to the train station, so we went the back roads, but they had been made into low traffic neighbourhoods with planters in them. Tell you what, I heard Patrick's language, he was not a happy bunny. So yeah, I think that's starting to turn now, thankfully. Yep, cash is king. I definitely agree with that. Margaret, good evening from Washington State. Thank you for that. Justine, Justine, I don't know. Mine is a lot of speaking to people. But as I say, we work a lot with insurers, and the insurers are starting to use computers a lot more and lose staff. So, yeah. But I still think we need to have some sort of personal relationship with people. Because as I say, if you're going to spend a lot of money, you don't want it to all be about just ticking boxes on the computer. I mean, I know it sounds like a stupid thing, but if you imagine because we're a construction firm and we do a lot of insurance works, you imagine a room that's, say, just 10 meters square walls, and you're putting up coving or skirting. So your computer says that's 40 meters. But if there's a chimney breast or a cubby hole, that changes everything. And then sometimes you have to say to them, well, actually, no, that coving is ancient plaster. We need to get the specialist in. So that's a completely different costing. And the computer just says no. So, yeah, I think definitely I am not up for all this digital stuff. Heard car insurance will rise 40% to 60% in the not too distant future, just to get more people off the road. Now, funny Lana, there was something, where did I read it? There's seemingly a new thing coming in with the UK government about financial institutions. And one of the examples I heard, or I read, because I read it in the news, is that there was a woman with a savings account with whatever bank it was, and she was on something like 1.35% interest. And she hadn't, she'd had it about 8 years. And it was only when she was like, so why am I still on 1.35? Because the rate for new people is like 4.5. And she messaged them because she couldn't get through the phone. So she messaged them and they said, oh, well, you didn't ask for the new rate. Now, I'm sorry, what? Seemingly, because she didn't ask for the new rate, they didn't put up her interest rate that she was absolutely entitled to. So that is something to keep an eye on. But there's new legislation coming in the UK from the Financial Conduct Authority about insurance, about savings accounts and stuff like that. So you want to have a look at that and then check all your interest rates and stuff. But yeah, definitely spending cash. I definitely spend less if I spend cash. Oh yeah, Kelly. Yeah, sometimes they won't let you do it, even if you ask. They want new funds only. Exactly. Now Patrick's very good at that with insurance, because he's just like, well, I'll cancel it unless you match the new insurance. And a lot of the time, he's actually got the new rate, so it's definitely worth an ask for these financial situations. Watson Holmes, good evening, and yes, I completely agree with you. The fact that banking and bankers, the way it's going, it's great if you're one of these shareholders and stuff, or one of these guys who makes loads of monies in investments. But for us little minions on the ground, it's not really serving us. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, thank you, Patrick. He does the same with phone contracts. He changes that quite often. But yeah, banking and bankers, I think there definitely is going to be looking at something from bankers. But the one thing I did notice, I actually went up and looked it up. In London, now wait a minute, Poopy, you need to get off my notepad. Sorry, darling. In London, the place where ULEZ is coming, and it's going to be £12.50 a day to move, the way the MPs are at the moment is 45 Labour and 27 Conservative. Now, that's a hefty hit for Labour. And the majority of those constituencies are in the centre of London, the people who are suffering from the ULEZ and the people where it's all going to be expanded. So, as Sadiq Khan, the mayor, is Labour, I think Labour's going to lose an awful lot of votes in London because of that, because of the ULEZ, because of the congestion charge, etc., etc. So, I think what we're thinking is going to happen at elections may not happen at all. I think everything could go very, very squinty with the way it's going. Yeah, Mike, ULEZ is just... Although there was another report about the ULEZ people who go out and chop all the cameras. I think they got 8 cameras in one night in Chiswick. So, more power to your elbow to those people. But yeah, I think between, they're saying we need our own currency. I did think about that, James. We need our own currency. What can we use? Can we use another currency, or do we start a bartering system? What's a jar of jam worth that I've made? What can I get off of somebody else for that? Because trust me, I'd be expecting more than a bar of chocolate for that. But do you get 6 eggs for a jar of jam? Things like that. I don't think it's something we can start easily, but I think there's so many people now are fed up with the way things are going. So it'll be interesting to see how we all get on with that. Be free, be frugal. Remember when wages were paid in cash. I was thinking about that a couple of days ago, thinking, how did I get my wages at first? And I worked in a hotel, and I remember going into the office, and there was the little brown envelopes, and you just went up to the desk and gave the person your name, and you got your little brown envelope with your cash in it. I remember the first time I ever got a £50 note. I was so excited, and I swore I was never ever going to spend it. That lasted all of 2 days. Can I just say? So yeah. Yep. Frugal J, yeah. I totally agree with you on that one. Oh, your other comment got auto-deleted by YouTube. I do not know how that works. Sorry about that, Kelly. Dad coming home with his wage in the brown envelope. Yep. Silver and gold as well. Yeah, I mean, there's so many options, and we're not quite sure. They censored when you spelled it correctly. My goodness. Caroline, yeah, I was exceedingly proud getting my wage in a brown envelope. Bringing it down, giving some money to mum, and going and spending getting your first pair of shoes with the heels that your mother wouldn't allow you to have and stuff like that. I remember that well. It's quite. I remember with Kathleen, her first wage coach. All right, Kelly, yes. Okay, I get you. Yeah, I think there's a whole lot of stuff going on then. A whole lot of censorship going on with that. But then with the amount of people who seem to have run away with money on that, I would be quite careful with that as well. Oh, goodness gracious me, what is this? Da, 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 da. There we go. Evening, Nova. How you doing? So yeah, that's the thing, and I have to say that the running about today as well with the digital ID to access it. See, I'm really not liking digital ID. What was the channel I watched? On Channel 4, there was a program called Hunted, and it showed you people trying to hide from similar sort of machines that the police and the rules have and things like that. And I remember there was one guy, and he basically just hiked up to the Highlands of Scotland and disappeared off the face of the earth. And it was only when they did some major bribery and corruption and posters out locally that he got caught. But watching that, it shows you just how much surveillance there is. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. There are so many shops, shopping centres, I think House of Fraser does it, etc., who now have facial recognition privately because the police are not doing anything with the crimes. Dominic, yeah, I know the digital ID with that. Lined up to be eye scanned. Oh no, you're not getting near my eyes. Hey Penelope, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Don't like the thought of digital currency. Nope, I'm with you on that. Digital can get hacked. Oh, thank you, Rachel. That's very nice of you. But yes, seemingly, pussycat, do not murder mittens. No, no murder mittens and money. Yeah, a lot more money to scan my eyes. Yeah, no one until. Yeah, I noticed that, Paul. When I used to go into Tesco's at 6 o'clock in the morning, they didn't have anyone on the tills until 8 o'clock in the morning. So going in at 6, I didn't get you. I didn't get in. There was no. You had to self-serve. So yeah. Oh, we have somebody called Frank saying I'm weird. I am Frank, and I care not a jot. Who says that? I like my kind of weird. Thank you very much. Lynn, I'm with you on the eye scan. So yeah, just one of those things. But yeah, seemingly there is a lot of shops, shopping centres, etc., are now getting privately facial recognition systems in the shopping centre, in the stores, because the police are not coming to do that. If you ask and moan in the supermarkets, they will open one. Yeah, I can't do that because that's my local people. I can't be doing that. Evening chatterbox until about 8 as well. Yeah. If it means limiting folk to steal my money. Well, yeah, there is that. I just had another thought then. I completely forgot what it was. But yeah, we did the early morning shop. I did that a lot because that means that I get a quiet shop because I really don't like shopping at the weekends. So yeah, that's my thing. Oh, Lana, black electrical tape over the cameras and phones, laptops. I know that this actual laptop has a wee flippy thing to go over on the camera, and I think there was one live that I tried where it didn't. I had forgotten to take it off. So yeah, I do that. Yeah, there's a lot of cameras on the machines as well, but I think it's just one of those things now that there's going to be an awful lot more cameras about, an awful lot more of that stuff. And as I say, the shops and that are doing it because the police aren't going to attend a lot of these things. But then again, you get the report that just came out about how the police are going to attend every single crime. Good luck with that. What policemen have you got? Can you tell me? Because I know in England and Wales, since, 2019 or something, they've lost 20,000 police officers. So how are you going to suddenly get police officers to attend every single crime when you're 20,000 police officers down? Even I can do that maths. That's no happening. So yeah. Justine, yes, they did. They got together a whole lot of policemen, they got rid of them. And where the killer was, that was a lot of policemen with many, many years of experience, all took early retirement and stuff. And they, that's a huge, huge thing to lose. Yeah, Alana, they keep trying to usher me over to the self-checkouts. No, I don't. As I say, it's order online and don't use cash. Yeah, certainly for me, I still do order online sometime with my card because it's so much easier. Especially if I need stuff midweek. I am not driving 12 miles into Asda and back out when I finish work. That means I'm not going to get home till the back of 7. So what I do is I order it online and it comes in just after I come in from work. Deanne, good to see you from upstate New York. That's lovely. Has anyone, just while we're talking about the checkouts, has anyone had the thing where they make you do self-checkout and then they check it when you're walking out? You know, the things for You see it a lot on Facebook. Someone saying, "Oh yes, they've tried that," and I just wave it at them and say, "I don't work here. If if you trust me to be checking myself out, then I'm not standing to get checked out by you yourself." Um, oh, Lolly, you do get that. Ooh. New police forum in waiting in 5-star hotels at present. Yeah, James, I've heard some bits and bods. Yeah, Walmart. See, I would be so cross if they did that. Oh, absolutely. Church off. I totally agree with you. If you're not getting employees discount, then you're a customer. Martin, you get that at Tesco's. Oh, I did not know that. I haven't been to Tesco's in ages because I took a huff at them because of the charges they were adding on to the farmers for online orders. Okay, you only get that as if you can't pay by card. Some staff at mine are pretty friendly with me now because I've ended up taking the lead in a couple of medical emergencies and other shop. Goodness. Yeah, you see, it's a small community here. We normally, if we're shopping, there's always someone we know there. Yeah, Penelope, I will not self-check out a trolley if I can help it, because what I find is that you bend down to pick it up from the trolley and then you scan it and then you bend down to put it on the thing, and if it doesn't work, you've got to call someone. And because I normally get a lot of reduced stuff if I can, it can take me forever. The last time I went to Asda's in the morning and got the reduced stuff, I don't know what's happened to my hair. Patrick was ready for leaving because he's like, "Oh my God, this isn't working and that's not working," and so eventually the woman just stayed with us. So yeah, have a discount. Still sometimes get checked. They do the bag check before it lets you pay, so you have to wait. Oh yeah, I've had that a couple of times. Lawyers are now weighing it so you cannot stop you unless you've shoplifted. Stephanie, keep us up to date with that. That will be an interesting one. Well done on the heart attack and seizure. Self-scanning tills are good with your change. Yep. Super extreme stealing and always had it most of the time. They smile and wave us past, mostly looking for. Yeah, you see, the thing is, they'll know who it is. Well, if you're one of those people, you just stay well away from me. I am quite accident prone enough. They won't stop you even if you are shoplifting. Yeah, what is that I read about America where they sacked someone for trying to stop the shoplifter? What is that? Yeah, the grocery delivery, Alexander, that's what we call the online shop. Your Tesco, Asda, which is Walmart shop, the staff go and shop it and then the drivers bring it to your house. Yeah, that's what we call an online shop. Said stateside a fair amount. Yeah, so there's a lot of that going on. A lot more, as we're saying, a lot more automation going on just now, which is not the best. Perhaps personally, I'll put you in my path because you're going to have a medical emergency. Good point, Willow. I would love to meet you at that time. Didn't see that. We see those fires who let the big stealers go. They were working together. Yeah. People have died from it. Yeah. Rather take the loss and claim an insurance rather better than bad press for getting someone arrested. Yeah. What was it I saw? There was something on Facebook, and it was a wee old lady, and she was giving it large to people, and she's like, right. So what happened? She says the kids do something wrong. She says the kids at school, no problem. They attack the teacher. The teacher can't do anything because the principal's scared of the head. The head's scared of the school board. The school board are scared of the parents, and the parents are scared of the kids. So who's going to stop this getting worse? And I was like, oh, that makes sense to me. Charlotte, hi there. Good to see you. Willow baby milk security tags on it. Yep, I saw Iceland last week. They had security tags on meat joints, and I mean they were quite small joints, um, but they were in the plastic locked boxes. So I'm presuming you had to go and get someone and get them to open up the box so that you could then do, buy that joint. So obviously it wasn't, even although one of them was reduced, I did not buy it because I couldn't be bothered waiting. Got on his bike and rode off. Yeah, that seems to be the thing. Hev, no apologies necessary, Hev. I think it's fabulous you're here. Thank you for coming along. We're just talking things like digital chatbots and stuff and self-checkouts and how none of us like them. We've decided, it seems to be a consensus of opinion. We're not liking the chat box, we're not liking the low traffic neighbourhoods, and we're not liking, just basically what's going on. Oh, banking, we're not liking banking either. So, well, yeah. So, Asda isn't Walmart anymore? Oh, that's right. It was the two brothers. I forgot about that. I don't know why I forgot about that. Kathleen used to work for one of their garages. Yeah. But I think, Janie, I think there's a lot of places are getting like that because I know, where was it I first read about it? It was care homes. And they were getting bought up by companies. And what had happened, and this was how I understood how things that were bought over suddenly ended up in debt. So what they would do is they buy a care home with Karen's company. Karen's company would buy a care home, and Patrick's company, who's obviously me and Patrick's company, we would sell the property to him. So he now owns the property, and the care home has to rent it out. Now, originally, before I bought this care home, it didn't have to pay rent or mortgage, it was fully owned. And then all of a sudden, they're having to pay £1,000 a month to Patrick's company, which is actually my company as well. So it makes a whole lot of money. And that's how they stack up this sort of debt. And it ends up with things just being in a big, big mess. And that's happening to so many companies now. They're getting run by companies that are just there to asset strip, to get as much as they can out of it. Like, I mean, we've all seen that with the water companies, with the electric companies, anything like that. It's like, oh yeah, just strip it down. And then the government goes, as they did to the water company, your water's not safe. Oh, well, we can't afford it now. I'm sorry, you just gave how many millions in what are they called, bonuses to your shareholders and your CEOs and stuff, but you can't afford to fix things. And it's just a never-ending circle. Dave, no. I really don't think I want to take a magnet to a meat. That'll upset me if what you say is true. When global boiling is starting, it's blowing a gale and chilly here. Yeah, it's quite chilly here as well. Your hours have been cut by 25%. Bought by two spivs, they went off to Barbados. Yeah, why doesn't that surprise me? Sign them up to be cash cows for life. Yeah, I mean, James, I'm totally with you in that, because who knew that children's homes are now pretty much all private? I don't like that thought. Big blokes turned up wanting to take away the kitchen bailiffs. Some of them gone digital and won't accept cash. Yeah, Nova, I saw that. It's there's some of the banks that are just not accepting cash now. I mean, not that there's a bank anywhere near me, but yeah. Yeah, Lynn, I totally agree. It's quite weird. And I've seen all these reports about how the weather people are not reporting it the way it should be reported. But there seems to be a delineation somewhere, because, I mean, Scotland's normally cool, but this is a lot cooler than it was this time last year. And yet, south of the Channel, really, it's a lot hotter than it was this time last year by a whole lot. It's a lot of things. Justine, I'm with you on that. I don't think any care should be private at all, but the majority of it is. Banks are just closing right, left, and centre. Mary, you're not helping my heebie-jeebies here. Thank you. That's Patrick. You're going to have to test that for me because I'll get the heebie-jeebies if I do that. That's your department, sweetie. See, notice how helpful Patrick is when I have heebie-jeebies about things, especially if it's like I've bought that meat and I put a magnet on it. Just know. So yeah, Hev, I am with you on that thing. Mandy was she was saying that in the office, I think on Thursday or Friday. We were speaking to someone further south down in England where it was a bit warmer, and they were moaning about how cool it was. And I'm like, no. And she's like, yeah, where's my heat wave? I was like, don't you dare. I do not want a heat wave. I will melt. I will just be a heap of puddled meltiness if it gets hot. That is not cool. Not stock train Hammersmith. Oh, Caroline, did you see the thing? Low traffic neighbourhoods, bus lanes, things. There was a report on King Street and how it's failing. That would be my child phoning me. My child, who I said I was on live at 8:30. Silly woman. So yeah, seemingly there's been a report on that cycle lane thing saying it's not worked out the way it has, or the way it was supposed to. Feel like temp 122 extreme one. Oh, Catherine, that's not so good. Mary, not liking that either. I should have picked up and put her on speakerphone. I am not letting you speak to my child. No. Goodness, I don't know what she'll be telling me. It could be anything. Can't have that public knowledge. Don't know what she's been up to. But weirdly enough, somebody had put in the comments about starting to prep for winter, to look at winter things, because again, there's comments about power cuts, which was such a scare story last year and then didn't turn out to stuff. So looking to keep yourself up in that is a good plan. Normal afternoon thunderstorm to blow through? Oh goodness, we don't get to them now. Crops are burned in Europe with fires. Yeah, absolutely. UK policing story today is a bit focusing on low level. Can really I think it can lead to more serious criminality. Penelope, I completely agree, but again, 20,000 policemen down. How are they going to get that done? Chatbox, do you know, I'm absolutely with you on that one. We did that when Mum was in the care home and Dad. Janie, yes. The ladies of a certain age, yes. We quite like the coolness, I have to say. That's why mobile phones were seen to stick to the needlecraft site. 3-4 packs of Heinz soup for £10 and Morrison's a couple. 3-4 packs, that's what, 12 tins of soup. That's not bad. Maryland 21, I am lovely, thank you. Bob, yeah, rice, I have noticed that they have banned the export of non-basmati. So rice is definitely something to be looking at, because chicken and rice soup in the winter is really, really nice. Raven, don't even start that rubbish. Oh, you went through there. Hang on. The cat wants to go upstairs, so what can I say? Life with me, good evening from Kentucky. Nice to see you here. Where are we? Wyoming has 2 seasons, July and winter. Scotland, yep. It's been one of those things in Scotland, hasn't it? It's rained, then it's got sunny, then it's got rain. I mean, it was kind of lovely and cool. Then about 7 o'clock tonight, it was roasting. And now it's cooling down again, which is good. Even if we don't have power cuts, I don't think things are going to improve by winter, so best having a... Yeah, Justine, I'm with you on that one. Oh, James, Blair has just reversed his opinion on net zero. Blair's just peeved that he's just looking to get some money and get his head above the parapet again so that he can make money. Since when has hospitals gone cashless, even on the coffee machine? Oh no, we can't have that. Put more clothes on than take them off. Can only remove so much clothes. Yep, totally with you, HM. Basmati is supposed to be nicer and therefore more expensive. I think the only difference I know on basmati rice is it seems to be a bit more delicate. Oh, Pixie Dude, humid is not something we're used to here. I remember my mother and father, they went to go and visit my dad's brother in Australia, and they stopped at Singapore. And that's the first time my dad met humidity. My father's was very dark-skinned for being Scottish. He had black hair, brown eyes, and he tanned by just looking at the sun. But he didn't sweat a lot, which was, well, in Scotland, we never expected it. He got off the plane in Singapore and he said that's the first time he's ever met humidity, and he said it was like getting slapped in the face. He was not happy, bunny. So, yeah, we've been getting humidity over the last few years, which I'd never noticed before, so you have a lot of sympathy because humidity is just horrible. Caroline, grandson in supported living. Yeah, I mean, they don't pay them. The owners take so much money out. It's just... Charlotte, curtain over I have curtains over everywhere. I have floor-length curtains on every window. I have curtains on the doors. So, yeah, that's a big thing for the winter. Basmati is better for diabetics. Oh, didn't know that. Nice and grown potatoes and fabric. But I have tomatoes. I actually have about 6 tomatoes growing on the plant. Now, I have to say, I bought the plant, the little baby tomatoes. I put it in my planter and I have watered it, and that is all I have done. It hasn't been greenhoused. It hasn't been nothing. It literally got taken from the market where I bought it and put in the planter. And I have like 6 tomatoes over 2 plants, which, considering this is Scotland and they've not been in the greenhouse, I am super, super excited about that. So, apart from that, my garden hasn't been terribly good. But, I know what I did wrong. I had really leggy seedlings and they just went bleh. So, we'll do that. Chatterbot, yeah, prepping is not the easiest thing. Couldn't even get a cup of tea because they're cashless in the hospital. You see, that's not good. Oh, wool curtains, Willow, definitely good. Neither did Prince Andrew. Don't give me it. No, that doesn't sound good, Catherine. Lolly, well done on a lot of tomatoes. Slowly ripening. That'll be the cat coming back in the door. Janet, good evening. Nice to see you. Cat, I'm not getting up just now. You can wait 10 minutes. Yeah, Lana, see, glad to see someone else knows about it. So hungry for homegrown tomatoes. I've never had homegrown tomatoes before, so I'm really excited, although they're still very, very small and very, very green. So I don't know if they're actually going to do something or whether that's going to be the best I'm going to get. But we'll see. It's a learning curve. So, Lynn, I'm sorry to hear about your garden burning up. That's not good. Joe, good evening. No apologies required for being late at all. Edgar's, good evening. Curtains were made in the 60s, stripes of brown and beige. Yeah, I don't care. I've actually got all my mum's old curtains because she bought, over the years, she got really good quality curtains. She actually got some of them from a hotel. So they are really heavy, really thick, lined, etc. So I don't care what they look like. If they stop my heating bill from going up, I am quite happy with that. Thank you very much. So most people have slow ripening tomato. Oh, good. So it's not just me. So much. Yeah, well, Patrick's dad did that as well. We never really did a lot of growing because mum and dad were both out working. So basil grown like a weed. So need your. Oh, never thought of that. Or I could just make fried green tomatoes. I could do that. Old quilts on the windows. Lynn, absolutely anything. Once the weather turns and starts being cool, anything you've got, whether it be old quilts, blankets, curtains. I mean, as I say, mine are like 3 generations old. Charity shop will have some really ugly curtains. Just get them. If they're heavy and lined, get them. She'd be 100 if she was still alive. Yep. See, anything like that. She does tomato slices. Oh, okay. I will try that, Catherine. Bought over the year curtain fabric and plan to sew mine. Wish you luck. Good for you. Fleecy hankies onto the back of curtains. Yeah, anything like that is really good. And it just makes such a difference. Let us know how you got on with that, Penelope. Blankies, not hankies. Hey, fleecy, Lolly. Anything fleecy is a good thing. And it is going to be one of those things. I mean, they're saying just now that the weather should get better in August, which is great. With the way the weather's going, not sure if it's going to be cold, or what it's going to be. But anything you can do to keep heat in and do that. I mean, I remember last year when I was doing videos on that way is I had hot water bottles, rolling towels up at the bottom of doors. I had curtains over the doors. I had so many blankies, and somebody sent me nice blankies. Thank you very much for my fleecy blankie. I got fleecy socks as well. Somebody very nicely sent me fleecy socks. So anything like that. Well, you've all seen me in my cardigans. I don't care if my cardigans are ugly. I really don't care what I look like. If I'm warm, that's what's happening. As Patrick will verify, I'm like, cold, I don't care what I look like. So, yeah. Come your way for ugly curtains. Old sleeping bag up and sit. Oh, yeah, Lana, that's a great idea. Flatbed sheets for curtains. Yes, just need a tension rod. Perfect. Safety pinned fleecy blankets onto the other side of the curtains. Yeah. Anything like that is just... I just want curtains that block out the light and don't smell of mold. Yeah, I tried that. I have blackout curtains. But because of the way if you've got the curtains there, I have the eaves coming up the sides so they don't go out to the sides of the window. So I still have daylight coming in on either side. But it's a lot better than it was. And thankfully, I also had a Velux that Patrick put a blind on because I hadn't realised Kathleen had put a towel over it for years. Took the towel off, hadn't realised how much daylight came in. So Patrick had to go and put a blind on that because I just, so yeah, underlay, under carpets, anything like that. Yeah, I have to say the daylight coming in is a bit of a problem. Well, you may as well walk in now. I can hear you.
I'm walking in. I'm trying to work for kitchen lights.
Okay. That one going that way would be the child. This is Kathleen, my daughter.
Hi!
Who is just back after being out camping in her car. I have no words.
Don't do it unless you have a mattress.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts.
Yeah, exactly. I've put the water heater on for you. Enjoy your bath.
I love you.
I know you do. So, that is the child. The baby, Kathleen, also known as Kat. So, yeah, who slept in her car last night, camping somewhere. Madness. Just utter madness. But we've been a good mum and we've had the water heater on for her so she can go and have a hot bath. Oh, blackout liners. Thermal blackout liners for curtains. We like that idea. Now, I am just about to head off and relax before I have to get ready for work tomorrow. So has anyone got any questions? Anyone need to know anything before I go? Thank you so much to everyone for coming along. Please hit the like button before you leave. And if you haven't subscribed, please already do, or please feel free to do so. Already do. Obviously, I can only speak for an hour at a time. Have a great night, everyone. I will catch you later. Speak to you soon. Bye.